cat, cat, cat. We're going to begin our C by the ear. We're going to go to the top of the head, to the other ear, and then we're going to come down to the cheek and then to the chin, and we're going to stop right above the little, the cheek. We begin to make another C. We begin by the green dot. We go up to the top of the red house, and we go around to the chin and a little bit past the chin. We call that a C, K, as in cat. Ah.
Olive. Olive. What letter makes olive?
To make the letter O, olive, we're going to be making a circle. All our circles begin by the ear. Go to the top of the head, to the other ear, the cheek, down to the chin, and then close up by the same ear that we began with. All our circle letters stay in the little red house. Some letters are going to be in the basement, and some letters are going to be in the attic. But all our circle letters will remain in this space, which we will call the little red house. We're going to begin our O, or olive, right here by the green dot, by the ear. Go to the top of the head, to the other ear, down to the chin, and then close it. We're going to reach for the other letter with a bridge. Ah.
We're going to make the letter A, as in apple. The letter A is entirely in the little red house. Some letters go all the way up to the attic, and some letters go down to the basement. The A will stay entirely in the little red house. We begin the A by the green dot, by the ear. Go to the top of the red house, to the other ear, down to the chin as if we were making a face, and now we're going to close the circle. We're going to make the tail, and then go up.
D. Drummer. D. Drummer. D. Drummer. D. Drummer. D. Drummer. D. Drummer. To make the letter D, we begin by the dot. We go to the top of the head. We go around to the other ear, and then to the bottom of the floor of the red house. We close our circle and go straight up to the attic. We touch the attic roof, and then we come down the attic stairs and we make our bridge to the other letter.
G. Goat. G. Goat. G. Goat. G. Goat. G. Goat. G. Goat. G.
To make the letter G, we will begin by the green dot, go to the top of the red house, down to the other ear, down to the cheek, down to the floor of the red house, close your circle up, and go straight down to the basement, loop it towards the red house, and then cross at the line and reach for the next letter.
Monkey. 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 Monkey.
To make the M, we begin by the green dot. The M makes the sound, and it fills the whole little red house. There are 3 downstrokes. Listen to as I count. 1, 2, 3, and then up.
Ooh. Lolly. Ooh. Lolly. Ooh. Lolly. Ooh.
The L, ooh, lolly, begins at the green dot at the floor of the red house. It will go all the way up to the attic and loop towards the red house. Down, crossing about midline, down to the floor of the red house, and then reach for the next letter.
Horse. 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 Begin the H by the green dot. We're going to go up to the attic and touch that line. Down with the L loop. Now we're going to fill the whole red house with the hill. And that's the H as in horse. Turtle. 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 Turtle.
T, turtle, begins at the green dot at the little red house floor. A slight slant swings all the way up to the roof, down the roof, the attic stairs, and up. Now cross the T right in the middle of the attic. Indian, Indian, Indian,
Indian. I.
I, as in igloo. We're going to begin by the green dot, and we're going to slightly slant and go up, swing up to the top of the red house, and then down again and curve up. We're going to make a dot right in the middle of the attic.
J. Jump. J. Jump. J. Jump.
J, jello, starts like an I, goes up to the top of the roof of the red house, goes down to the basement, loops towards the house, and reaches for the next letter. The J is dotted just like the I right in the middle of the red house.
Kite. 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 Kite.
K, kite. K starts at the floor of the red house and goes up to the attic, comes down just like the H and L loop, and goes up to make a hill. Instead of going straight down, it comes back and kisses the L loop. Up to reach for the other letter.
Parrot. 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 Parrot.
He begins just like an I, goes up to the top of the red house, comes down straight to the basement, goes up the basement stairs, and loops away from the red house, and then goes back to the dot, and then reaches for the next letter.
Chicken. Chicken. Chicken.
The two-letter sound that says ch, as in chicken. A digraph is two successive letters whose phonetic value is a single sound. The sound is ch. We begin the C by the green dot, and then we go to the top of the little red house, down to the other ear, down to the chin, and now we reach for the H and the attic. To the top of the attic, down the attic stairs, and we're going to make the H hill fill the whole little red house. Reach for the other letter. Complete.
Umbrella. Umbrella. Umbrella.
To make the U, we begin at the green dot. We're going to first make an I. Then we're going to make another I. And then we make our tail.
Bat. Bat. Bat.
The bee begins by the green dot. The bee says B, as in bat and bull. First we make the bat. It goes up, stops at the attic, crosses exactly at the top of the red house, and now we're going to make something that looks like a ball, fills the whole little red house, and points. We've made the bat, and then we made the ball. B, bat. Bat first, B.
Rabbit. Rabbit. Rabbit.
The R says like in run. It begins at the green dot, and it should stay in the little red house, but it goes up, just like an I does, but it goes up too far, and then it goes back down where it should be, making a sliding pond down, and continues. The I reaches for the next letter.
Fish. 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 Fish.
The F says as in fish. It starts right by the green dot, and it loops up to the attic, touches the attic, goes down and crosses at the top of the ceiling of the red house, goes straight down to the basement, and now goes over on the same side. It loops over on the same exact side as the loop above, away from the red house, and goes up to the line and reaches for the next letter.
Nose. Nose. Nose.
The letter N starts by the green dot and has two downstrokes. 1, 2. And fills the whole little red house. 1, and now another. Reach for the next letter.
Elephant. 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 Elephant.
We begin our E by the green dot, up to the top of the red house, and loop it with a space in between to make sure we don't confuse it with the I.
Snake. Snake. snake.
The S says S, like in snake. Begins at the floor of the red house and goes up like an I and goes down. Its belly touches the line and it goes back to the green dot and then reaches for the next letter.
Shh. Shark. 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 Shark.
We begin the S by the green dot, start like an I, make a belly, go back down to the dot. Now we're going to reach for the H, L loop. Up to the attic, loops back to the house, straight down. Now we're going to make the hill of the H fill the whole little red house.
Thumb. Thumb. Thumb.
TH is another digraph sound. Two letters together that make the special sound. Sometimes it has a voice and it says This digraph begins with the letter T and it starts at the green dot. It reaches for the attic and comes down and then goes again and reaches back to the attic, makes a loop towards the house, and now the H hill. Cross the TH right in the middle of the attic. Or V is the TH digraph. As in this. No. As in that. TH is another digraph sound. Two letters together that make the special sound. Sometimes it has a voice and it says This digraph begins with the letter T and it starts at the green dot. It reaches for the attic and comes down and then goes again and reaches back to the attic, makes a loop towards the house, and now the H hill. Cross the TH right in the middle of the attic. Or V is the TH digraph.
W. Wave. W. Wave. W. Wave. W. Wave. W. Wave. W.
The W begins like an I. The W has the W sound, as in whale. First we're going to make the W by itself, and then with its partner, WH. The W begins at the dot, just like an I, goes down, goes back to make another I. Now it looks like a U. It goes up to make even a third I, and then makes a point and reaches for the next letter.
Y. Yo-yo. Y. Yo-yo. Y. Yo-yo. Y. Yo-yo.
Y says Y, as in yo-yo. We start the Y just like a U and then go down to the basement. Here's our U, and now we go straight down to the basement, loop it towards the house, and cross right on the right line, and reach for the next letter.
Volleyball. 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 Volleyball.
The letter V, as in van, begins with a hill, and then a valley, and then a point. Begins at the green dot, makes a hill, then a valley, and then a point. Then makes a bridge and reaches to the next letter.
W. Whale. W. Whale. 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 Whale.
W. Make the W first, and then reach for the H. Down to the floor of the red house, and now make the hill of the H fill the whole of the red house. WH says W. H is silent. You don't say it. Second one to the
Box. 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 Box.
The letter X has two sounds put together. Just like opening a soda bottle. We start our X at the green dot and make a hill. And then a valley. And reach for the next letter. Now we go back and we cross our X right along that line. X.
Z. Zebra. Z. Zebra. Z. Zebra. Z. Zebra. Z.
Z, as in zebra. Z. The Z starts just as if you were making a 3. Going to make the top of the 3, go around, and now you're going to go to the basement. Loop it towards the house and cross right on the line, reaching for the next letter. Z, zebra.
Qu, queen, qu, queen, qu, queen.
As in quilt. Q never goes any place without U. It's a very shy letter. We begin our Q just as if we were making an O, and we make our circle, filling the whole little white house, close our circle, and we go down to the basement. Loop it away from the red house. Go back and then reach for the U. Put the belly of the U right on the line and make 2 eyes, just like a U does. Q-U, a very, very shy letter. It never goes any place without U. Q-U. Qu.
A, as in ape. Ape, A. 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 The letter A says its name 3 different ways. The first way we're going to do is when the final E, which is silent, makes the vowel before it say its name. But there usually is one consonant that keeps them apart. This E is silent. It's called the magic E, and it makes the A say its name. It can only jump 1 letter away. So if there is an E at the end of the word, or any beginning that begins with a vowel, we would have to double this consonant to keep this E away from the A. The words that we'll use as an example is ape. A, P, E. Here the E makes the A say its name. This is called a V vowel, consonant, final E rule. The next way that the A says its name is when we have a VCV, vowel, a consonant, and a vowel. When we have 2 vowels separated by 1 consonant, the second vowel does almost the same thing as the final E does. It makes the vowel before the consonant say its name. This is called a VCV rule. We're going to use the word Ajax as a way of showing you an example. Now, since Ajax is a name, we're going to use a capital. Okay, this A here jumps across 1 consonant and makes this A say its name, Ajax. This rule is called a VCV rule, vowel, consonant, vowel. In a vowel, consonant, vowel situation, here we have the syllable ends right after the vowel. So in a VCV, we cut the syllable right here, and this vowel is long because it's by itself or if it's at the end of a syllable. Now the A in Jack says it's short, because it's crushed between two vowels. But this vowel makes this vowel say its name. The next circumstance we have is when we have two vowels go walking. When two vowels go walking, the first one does the talking and generally says its name. Okay? The second vowel is usually silent. The word we're going to use as an example is aim. 2, 3, okay. Aim. This vowel makes this vowel say its name, long sound, and this vowel is silent. The word says aim. We call this rule the double vowel rule. Two vowels go walking. 3 different ways that A can say its name. If you hear the name A, there has to be a reason that it says A. Either the final E, VCV, or two vowels. If you don't have any of those circumstances, try the short A first. Vowels have many sounds. E as in athlete. Athlete. E. Athlete. E. Athlete. The letter E says its name, the long sound, when there are 3 different circumstances. Here we have the final E, which makes the E say its name. This is called the magic silent E, and it makes the vowel before it say its name. There's only usually one consonant away. The magic E cannot jump 2 letters. The consonant in between is all it can jump over. So E is effective when there's one consonant away. One example that we're going to use is athlete. Athlete. In athlete, this E, which is silent, makes this E say its name. Okay? Because this vowel starts the word, it is short. When we have 3 vowels, 2 vowels separated by 3 different letters, we keep the blends together and separate after the blend or before a blend. Cover with your hand. The first part says ath and the second part says leet. This is the way we syllabicate. We break words up into smaller pieces, makes it easier to digest. The second way that E says its name is when the vowel before it, and it can be any vowel, makes it the E say its name. An example that we have is began. Began. We make the B, E, G, the A, and the N. Here we have the VCV rule. 2 vowels separated by 1 consonant. This vowel makes this vowel say its name, E. The syllable ends right before, after the first vowel, E, and it says its name. It says its name because a vowel that ends a syllable is long. There's nothing to stop it. We have the syllable ending after the first vowel when 2 vowels are separated by 1 consonant. Our VCV rule is right here. End the syllable after the first vowel and make that vowel long. Here we have a CVC. where we have two consonants separated by one vowel, and these two consonants are crushing in the vowel and making this vowel short. Cover your hand, your thumb. The first part says B, the second part says gan. Syllabication is easy. When you underline the vowels, see how many letters are in between. When one letter separates, the second vowel makes the first one say its name. The third circumstances where E says its name are when two vowels go walking. The first one does the talking and generally says its name. An example would be eat. E says its name. A is a silent letter, and it makes the first vowel say its name. 1, 2, 3 different ways that E says its own name, the long sound E. I, as in ice. Ice. I. Ice. I. Ice. I says its name, the long I sound. When it has a magic E, one consonant away. When there's an E at the end of the word, the E is silent. This E is a signal that this I says its name, the long I sound. This E can only work if it's one consonant away. An example would be mine. 3 strips. M-I-N-E. Mine. This E here makes this I say its name. It jumps across the N and makes the I say the long I sound. The second way that I says its name, if there are two vowels separated by one consonant. This is called the VCV rule. Two vowels separated by one consonant. This vowel makes the first vowel say its name, and the syllable ends after the first vowel. An example would be minus. M-I-N-U-S. This vowel, first thing we do is underline the vowels. Second thing we do is count the letters in between. There's one letter in between separating these two vowels, so we syllabicate, break up this word right after the first vowel. A vowel that ends a syllable is usually long. We cover the first part and it says my, and the second part says nus. The second part says nus because this U is crushed between two consonants. So here we have a CVC rule and a VCV rule. The I is long because two vowels are separated by one consonant. The second way the I says its name, the long sound, is when we have two vowels, as in pie. Pie. Here we have two vowels go walking. The first one does the talking and it says its name. The second one just does the walking and is silent as a signal to make the first one say its name. When we see a vowel and it's by its only vowel in the word, then it's short. There always has to be a reason, 1, 2, 3 reasons why the I says its name. I says its name, the long I sound. I. O, as in globe. Globe. O. Globe. O. Globe. O. Globe. The letter O says its name, O, when there's a magic E or a final E at the end of a word. The E is silent and is a signal that the O says its name. This magic E can only jump one consonant. If there are two consonants, then the E cannot make the O say its name. An example would be globe. G-L-O-B-E. This E makes the O say its name. Globe. That's called a vowel, consonant, final E rule. The second way that O says its name is when two vowels are separated by one consonant. We underline the vowels and then syllabicate, break up the word right after the first vowel. The vowel says its name. We're going to use the example of omit. This I makes the O say its name. It can only jump across one consonant letter. We break the word after the first vowel. We cover with our thumb. If the vowel is by itself or at the end of the syllable, it says O, and then we sound out the rest of the word. Because this vowel here is between two consonants, we have a CVC, and these two consonants are crushing this I short, and that says mit. Put it together and it says omit. This is called the VCV rule. The second way the third way that O says its name, it's when two vowels go walking. The first one does the talking. The second one just is silent. And it is a signal that the first one usually says its name. An example would be oat. The O says its name because it's two vowels, one right after the other. And this is called the VV rule. O says its name, O, the long sound. U, as in mule. Mule. U. Mule. U. Mule. U. Mule. U. U says the long U sound, and it says its name when a final E is one consonant away. This can be called the magic E, and the magic E makes the U say its name, the long U sound. The magic E can only work if it's one consonant away, and this E is silent when it's at the end of a word. An example would be the word use. U-S-E says use because this E makes the U say its name. And the E is silent. Use. This is called the vowel, consonant, final E rule. The second way that U says its name, it's when two vowels are separated by one consonant. The first vowel says its name, and it's syllabicated right after the first U. Example would be unit. U-N-I-T. Whenever we have a word with more than two vowels, we know that we have a word that probably has more than one syllable. Underline the vowels first and count the letters in between. There's only one consonant between these two vowels, so we have a VCV. This vowel makes this vowel say its name. And the syllable breaks right after the first vowel. This first vowel says its name, U. Here we have a CVC, consonant, vowel, consonant. This vowel here is short and says I because these two consonants are crushing it. We cover the second part of the word and say U, and then we pronounce the second part, which is nit. Together it becomes unit. This is called the VCV rule. Separate, long vowel. The third way that U says its name is when two vowels are walking. The first one does the talking and generally says its name. In the case of U, U has two long sounds, a modified long sound of oo. An example would be true. T-R-U-E. True. Two vowels give us the VV rule. When two vowels go walking, the first one does the talking and generally says its name. The second one does the walking and is just silent. Here we have the modified long U, oo sound, true. Long U says U or oo. Phone, phone, phone. The PH sound begins just like the I letter, up and then down. The P goes down to the basement and up the basement stairs. No loop in that P because we don't want to confuse it with the Q. Now, make our circle, loop it around, and go back to the red house. Now we're going to be making the second letter in P, H, and that's the H. The H is an attic letter, and up to the attic, down, loop down just like an L, and now we're going to make our hill, and come down. E as in eagle.
eagle, E, eagle, E, eagle, E, eagle.
EA says E and starts at the green dot. We're going to make our small loop. Okay, now we have to make a bridge to the A sound. Two vowels go walking. First one does the talking. This A is silent. And this one says its name. It's like the wedding of two people. Mr. E marries Miss A and become Mr. and Mrs. E. EA says E as in eagle. A as in train.
Train, A, train, A, train, A, train, A.
A begins by the green dot. And now we're going to make a round letter, so we're going to go to the top, make believe we have a head, to the other ear, down to the cheek, and now we're going to close it like we're doing an I. Now we're going to come down and make the A tail, and now the I letter. AI says A, the long A sound. We're going to make this I and keep this I silent. Of course, AI is a digraph. When two vowels go walking, the first one does the talking and generally says its name. E as in sheep.
Sheep, E, sheep, E, sheep, E, sheep, E, sheep, E.
We're going to begin the EE sound by the green dot and make our first loop. EE says E as in sheep. And now we're going to make the second E. Whenever two vowels go walking, the first one does the talking and it says its name. The second one just goes walking and is silent. It's just the same as when two people get married and they take the first person's name. So the long E says E as in sheep. A as in stingray.
Stingray, A, stingray, A, stingray, A.
We're going to be making the AY sound. That says A as in stingray. We begin the A by the dot, go up to the top of the head as if we were making a face, the other ear down by the chin, and we're going to close our circle and come down and make the A tail. Now we're going to make a Y. Here the Y acts the same way as if it were a vowel. And this Y, because two vowels go walking, the first one does the talking and says its name, and the second one just goes and does the walking. So the Y acts just like a vowel and makes the first one say its name. AY says A as in stingray. O as in boat.
Oatmeal, O, oatmeal, O, oatmeal, O, oatmeal, O.
We're going to begin the OA sound right by the green dot. OA says O. We start the circle letter of O and complete the circle around. Now we're going to make our A. Now we've got to make a bridge till we get to the other side and back on our bridge so that our A is nice and round. And here's the tail of the A. When two vowels go walking, the first one does the talking and says its name. The second one just does the walking and is silent. When two vowels are together, the first one says its name. OA says O, as in boat. As in anger.
Anger. Anger. Anger.
We're going to begin the sound ER by the green dot. We're going to loop the E, and now we're going to make the R. The R goes up like an I, but instead of coming down, we're going to make a sliding pond down here. Now completing the R. ER says as in bird. 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 We're going to be making the IR as in bird. The I begins by the green dot, goes up to the top of the red house, and now we're going to be making our R. Our R comes up a little above the little red house, and it looks like an I, except this time we're going to make a sliding pond down, and now continue the R. We're going to make a dot over here, and IR says as in bird. As in turkey. 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 UR says as in turkey. The U begins just like an I. And now we're going to make the belly of the U crawl against the line. Now we're going to make another I. And now we're going to make the R. The R goes a little bit above. Now sliding pond down. And continue the R. UR says as in turkey. The UR sound is a murmur sound. The bossy R here makes the U say Every time an R comes next to a vowel, it makes the vowel change. Ow.
Cloud. Ow. Cloud. Ow. Cloud. Ow.
The OU begins by the green dot. OU says ow as in cloud. We begin the O by the green dot by the ear. Go to the top of the head and we're going to close our O. Now usually we go all the way down here to make the U, but we're not going to do that. We're going to make our U from the top, just like this. Now down, and now we're going to make another I, and a U is like two I's, but notice this O and the U comes from the top here. OU is a diphthong, and it slides from O to the U sound, saying ow as in cloud. Think of the U as being two fingers pinching so that you say ow. Ow.
cow, ow, cow, ow, cow.
OW is the second choice for the ow sound. We begin the O by the green dot, take our circle up to the top of the head, around, and close our circle. Now we're going to be making a W. We're going to start the W from the top this time instead of going all the way down. Watch. Okay, now we're going to go down and make the rest of the I. Now we're going to make two more I's. And now a point and reach for the next letter. OW says the ow sound, as in owl. I as in light.
Light, I, light, I, light, I.
IGH says I. We're going to be making three letters. The I begins by the green dot, up to the top of the red house, down. Now I make the G. The G is going to be silent, and first we reach over to the other side like we're making an O, a bridge. Now back on the bridge and close your circle. So far it looks like an O. Down now to the basement, loop it towards the red house, and there's our G. It's a silent G as well as a silent H. Now we're going to make our H, go up to the attic, come down, and make our hill. IGH says I, as in light. G is silent, and so is the H. But they always signal that the I says its name. Three letters say one sound, long I. Bull as in table.
Table, bull, table, bull, table, bull, table.
We're going to making the syllable ending called bull. Now I'm going to make this line here because this letter can be anything. And now I'm going to make the syllable ending. You always find the bull sound at the end of the word all by itself. We're going to start with the B at the green dot, up to the top of the attic, down. So far it looks just like a L. We're going to go around and make our ball. And first we made our bat, now we're making our ball. And now we're going to go up and make our L. Now we have bowl, but every syllable must have a vowel, so we make our silent E. This E signals that this is a syllable all by itself. And here is the sign for syllable. We break the syllable apart, put our finger on it. We call this the rule of thumb. Cover it with our thumb, and we sound out the rest of the word. Bull is always by itself. R as in arm.
Arm, R, arm, R, arm, R.
We're going to be doing AR as in arm. The A will begin by the green dot, like all our circles. We'll go to the top of the head and close. Okay, now we're going to be making the tail of the A, and we're going to be making our R. Our bossy R begins like an I, sliding pawn down, continue the R right here. This bossy R makes this A say a different sound, and it says R, just as if we were saying this letter's name. R as in arm.
horn, horn, or, horn, or, horn.
OR says or, as in horn. We begin our O, like all our circles letters, by the ear. We go up to the top of the head, to the other ear, and close our circle. Now we're going to be making the R again. We make the R coming up from the O, and then we sliding pawn down and continue as if we were making an I. Here we have the bossy R again. The bossy R makes the O change its sound to OR, as in horn. It controls it. R is an R-controlled letter. OR is an R-controlled letter. It says OR as in horn. O.
Moon, ooh, moon, ooh, moon, ooh, moon, ooh.
We're going to be writing double O's. The double O has two different sounds. We're going to be doing the long double O sound of ooh, as in moon. We're going to begin our double O instead of by the ear, by the top part, a little bit above the ear. We're going to go around, close it, and reach for the next O. Around, close it, and reach for the next letter. This is called the long double O sound. And it says ooh as in moon. Lee as in slowly.
Slowly, lee. Slowly, lee. Quickly, lee. Quickly, lee.
Lee is a syllable ending. So I'm going to show that this is a word. Now we're going to make our ending with the L that goes all the way up to the attic, loops around to the house, and now we're going to be making the Y in the LY ending. The Y comes up just like a first I, make another I, and now it's straight down to the basement, loop it towards the house, and there we go. LY is a syllable ending. We're going to make the slash that shows that LY is always all by itself. A syllable ending that you say alone. The Y acts like a vowel here. LY means like something. So if we say slowly, we mean like going slow, or in a way that is slow. LY is a suffix that has meaning, an ending that adds meaning onto the first root word. K. K as in duck.
Duck, 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 duck.
CK says k as in duck. We begin our CK by the green dot, and now we're going to go up to the top of the red house and around. We won't close our circle. We're just going to go directly up to make the K sound. Up, loop it down. Now we look like an L. This part is similar to an H, but instead of making the big mountain, we're going to go back and kiss the L. And there's our K sound. CK is always a signal that the vowel coming before it is short.
as in face.
Face. Face. Face. Face. Face.
The letter C says the S sound. When it's followed by an E, an I, or a Y. C says the S sound in words like scent, or CI like city, or CY like Nancy. C says S when followed by E, I, or Y. J.
Giraffe. J. Giraffe. J. Giraffe. J. Giraffe.
The G has the soft sound of J when it's followed by an E, I, or Y. We begin our G at the ear, we go up, close our O and down to the basement, and cross on the line. When G is followed by an E, it has the J sound. When it's followed by an I, it has the J sound. When it's followed by a Y, it also has the J sound. I as in sky.
Sky. I. Sky. I. Sky. I. Sky. I.
When Y is at the end of a word, it has the I sound sometimes. Now the Y is made with two I's, down to the basement and crossed at the line. Now Y says the I sound, the long I sound, when it's the only vowel in the word. Example, sky. Since Y is the only vowel in the word, the Y sound says I. Or.
Autumn. Or. Autumn. Or. Autumn. Or. Autumn. Or.
AU says or as in autumn and begins like any other A at the ear, goes to the top of the head, closes like the circle, and then the U is made. AU says or as in autumn. All.
Falls. All. Falls. All. Falls. All. Falls. All.
I'm going to be doing the all sound. The all always has an A with an L next to it. We're going to make our A like the normal A and the L. AL says all as in falls. Sometimes the L is doubled at the end of a short word with only one vowel in it. All as in falls.
wedding, ing, wedding, ing, wedding, ing, wedding, ing.
Ing, I-N-G, is a syllable ending that appears at the end of a word. The I is a vowel that begins this syllable ending. And the consonant before it is doubled if there's a vowel that comes before that consonant. Ing is a suffix that brings a new meaning to the word. If it's sit and we put ing on the end of it, it means sitting. It means the person is sitting right now. Ed,
Acted, ed, acted, acted, ed,
ed is a syllable ending that begins with a vowel. Here we make the E and then the D. ED has three different sounds. It says ed as in acted. It says d as in planned. Or it even says the T sound as in missed. All of it is spelled ed even if you just hear d or t at the end of a word. Ed is a suffix that brings a new meaning to the word in front of it. It means it happened in the past. It happened before. Ed, ed, d, and t. E as in field.
field, e, field, e, field, e.
The letters I-E say E as in field. I, and here's the E. And my dot on the I. I-E should say I as in pie. Like two vowels go walking, the first one does the talking. But most of the time it says E. And most of the time it's because a Y at the end of a word turns out to be an I when you add an ending with E in it, ED or ER. IE says E as in field. Shun,
Station, shun, station, shun, station, shun.
shun, T-I-O-N spells shun. It's a syllable ending that's always by itself, and it's found at the end of the word. It's spelled T, I, O, and the N comes straight off the O. Shun. At the end of the word, and a syllable all by itself. T-I-O-N. O as in snow.
Snow, oh, snow, oh, snow, oh.
O-W says O as in snow. We're going to begin our O at the ear, go up to the top, close our O, and make a short little I To make the W, go down, come up again, and to a point. OW says O like snow at the end of a word. As in bread.
bread, 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 bread,
EA begins at the dot, and this is the second choice, EA, and it says eh. We're going to make sure that we come up and we make a loop. If we don't make a loop, we're going to confuse it with the I, so we have to make that loop wide enough not to confuse. E, and now we're going to go for the A. To go for the A, we have to make a bridge, and now we're going to the ear over by the O part, and now we're going back on the bridge, and we're going to close it. So far we've had an O, and now we make the A tail. Now EA says eh as in bread. We call this the short EA, eh as in bread, EA.
book, 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 book,
The letters OO say as in book. It's a second choice for the double O letter. We begin it a little above where we normally start our circle letters. Close, and then reach for the second. OO says as oi.
boil, oi, boil, oi, boil, oi, boil, oi, boil, oi.
We start the oi sound where we start the other O's by the ear. We're going to be doing OI, which says oi as in oil. You start by the ear, top of the head, around, close it, and now we're going to do the I. But coming off of the O, we're going to make the I a little bit different. Okay, OI. If we had come down with the I, then this would have looked like an A. So any letter coming off of an O has to be shortened like this. OI says oi as in oil.
Boil, oi. 2. The letters named OI say oi as in boil. 3. Oi is called a diphthong because its sound is made by sliding from one vowel sound to another. Examples, soil and boil. 4. The oi sound is written in two ways, oi and oy. Oi is usually within a word, and oy is usually at the end of a word. The y looks like a tail at the end. Examples, coil and toy. 5. The oi together make a sound like a pig saying oink, oink, oink. The O looks like a pig, and the I looks like its tail.
Oi.
Boy, oi, boy, oi, boy, oi, boy, oi.
We're making the OY sound, oi, as in boy. OY says oi as in boy, usually at the end of a word. We begin by the ear to the top of the head and make our usual circle. We're going to take our Y off the top of the O. So we make a little I and go down, and then to the basement and up. OY says oi as in boy. Or,
Draw, or, draw, or, draw, or, draw, or, draw, or, draw, or, draw.
AW says or as in draw. The A begins at the ear, goes to the top of the head, goes around, closes like an O. Now we're going to make a tail of the A, and we're going to make the first part of the W, which looks just like an I. Now we're going to make another I, and another I, and a point. AW says or as in draw. Ooh.
Newspaper. Ooh. Newspaper. Ooh. Newspaper. Ooh.
EW says ooh as in news. We begin our E by the green dot, up to the top of the red house, and loop it with a space in between to make sure we don't confuse it with the I. Now we're going to make a W. The first part of the W is just like an I. Come down, another I, up, and to a point to the end. EW says ooh as in new. As in America.
America. America. America.
The schwa sound could be any of the vowels. The schwa sounds has a short U sound. Most of the time it is an A at the beginning of the word, like in about. Or the word that we see so often, the word that says a book, That sounds like a short U, but it is an A. We begin our A by the ear, close our A, and now we make our tail. The short A sound says but this one is the schwa sound, and it says This is the sound. This is the symbol. An upside down E is a symbol for the schwa sound, but any of the vowels can say it. Sometimes it's E, sometimes it's I, sometimes it's O, sometimes it's U. It's on the unaccented syllable, like about, agree. A says as in America.